I've written a book that shouldn't have had to be written, but here we are. It's called Genocide Bad, Notes on Palestine, Jewish History, and Collective Liberation. It's out March 11th, and you can and should pre-order it right now. So what I've done in Genocide Bad is take all the zillions of Zionist comments I've gotten over the past year, boil them down into just 9 types, and I show how these types of Hasbara, Israeli propaganda, are used to derail and confuse conversations about Palestine. And then I just demolish their arguments. If you're a longtime follower, you're involved in the movement, you're gonna love it. But this is also a book designed to be like handed off to your Zio questioning friends and relatives to kind of push them over the edge into understanding that Gaza is a Holocaust. Now, this book was not my idea. I would not have presumed to write a book about genocide or Palestine or even a nonfiction book to begin with. But a few months ago, my agent got an email from Hannah Mushabek, who's a Palestinian author and editor and one of the owners of Interlink Books, which is the only Palestinian-owned publishing company in the US. And Hannah said, Sim breaks down Zionist talking points in a unique and accessible way, and I want to capture their content and share it in a new medium, a book. And being asked to do this by Hannah for Interlink was the greatest honor of my life. So Hannah said, we can't pay you very much. We're a tiny indie publishing company. I said, don't worry about it. It's a labor of love. Then Hannah said, we'd like to rush this to print. Can you write it in 2 months? And I was like, hang on. I have a baby who just started crawling, and all my other books have taken me fully a year to write. But Hannah was like, it's kind of urgent. There's a genocide. Can you try? And I said, okay, I'll try. And I was thinking this is going to be light work because I'll just take my TikTok transcripts, upload them, edit them a little bit, slap together a book, no big deal. But when I look back at the transcripts, I realize I can go so much deeper on all this stuff. So the book is almost entirely new content. If you're a longtime follower, if you've seen every single one of my videos, you'll see some of my sort of greatest hits arguments here, but everything is deeper. The connections are thicker, and like everything, of course, because it's a book, has citations and endnotes, and you can go look at all my sources for all this research. Thanks to unbelievable support from my family, I was able to write it in 2 months. And I sent it to Hannah, and then I was like waiting, holding my breath to see like, did I do this justice? And Hannah got back to me and said, Sim, you pissed off half of the office so much because I keep having to interrupt them and read whole entire passages from your book out loud. Like they've heard half the thing because I just like had to read it out loud to someone. And Hannah also said that she kept like bursting out laughing in the office and on airplanes and at conferences because I wrote a book about genocide that's a little bit funny because it's me, I can be a little funny. And she said, Sim, it also made me cry, but not necessarily with grief always. Like at times it made me cry because it was so radically optimistic and hopeful. That's the collective liberation part. So look, Hannah asked for the book and Hannah got some catharsis out of it. I wrote it for her. As far as I'm concerned, I've done my job. But wouldn't it be cool if this book called Genocide Bad, put out by a Palestinian publishing company in an extremely Zionist publishing landscape, got a lot of attention and got a lot of sales? I mean, that would be kind of cool. This book about Palestine and Jewish history right there in the title by a Jewish author. I think it'd be pretty cool if this book blew up. But for that, we're going to need y'all's help because again, Interlink is a small publishing company. They don't have the funds to buy this book a spot on bestseller lists. So this is going to have to be a grassroots, word of mouth, homegrown, marketing campaign. And pre-orders, y'all, are everything. Now you'll find all the links to go pre-order this book in my bio. If we can get a few thousand pre-orders, like 1% of my followers, then we have a good shot of hitting the USA Today bestseller list. If we can get a few tens of thousands of pre-orders, so just 10% of my followers, we have a good chance of hitting the New York Times bestseller list. I think it might be doable. Now for maximum reach, we're publishing 2 editions simultaneously. You can get the paperback, which has this gorgeous cover, which of course was designed by Genzir, who did my cover art for the Free People's Village. You can tell they look similar. But you can also pre-order a deluxe hardcover edition with sprayed edges, a bookmark, a unique case wrap, and all of the pre-ordered hardcovers will be signed by me. But where should you buy? Well, if you order through Interlink, we're able to bypass Simon & Schuster, which is their distributor, which means I get paid a little more Interlink, this indie Palestinian-owned publisher, gets paid a little more. And for hardcover editions, we're going to donate 10% of the profits to the Middle East Children's Alliance. The paperback, if you order through Interlink, will also give, them and me a bigger cut. But paperbacks you can order anywhere, because to hit those bestseller lists, we have to hit sales from lots of different retailers, because some bestseller lists look at Amazon, some look at Barnes & Noble, some look at bookshop.org. And so, if you want to order 5 copies for your friends, you could place one order at each website. That would be helpful too. So there's no wrong way to pre-order other than not pre-ordering, in which case you failed to pre-order the book. If you're international in Europe, the best bet for an online retailer is amazon.co.uk. They will ship to anywhere in Europe, but you can also check with your local bookstore. They can coordinate with Interlink to get the book shipped to you. Same in the Middle East. If you're in the Middle East, ask your local bookseller if they can work with Interlink to get the book out there. And you can also just contact Interlink yourself if you're somewhere where you don't have a bookstore near you to coordinate that. You can email orders@interlinkbooks.com. They will ship you either the paperback or the deluxe hardcover signed edition anywhere in the world. What about ebooks and audiobooks? Well, we don't do pre-orders on ebooks, but there will be an ebook. Audiobooks, we are really hopeful there will be an audiobook, because I know that's the way so many people read, but we have not sold those rights yet. Again, a massive pre-order campaign will show there's a lot of interest in the book, and we'll have a much easier time selling the audiobook rights to an audiobook producer. So if you know you're going to read this on audiobook, but you can swing pre-ordering a paperback, that will help towards that effort. And I think it's going to be the kind of book you're going to want in print, even if you listen to it on audiobook, because it is a reference. You're going to want to underline things. You're not going to want to miss out on the footnotes and the endnotes. So consider pre-ordering a paperback if you can, even if you're going to read it in other formats. Finally, if you're going to read it from the library, you don't have any cash to spare towards a pre-order, you can help this book be successful. You can, by helping this post go viral, which means you can like, you can comment, you can share it. You can share it with a caption, which helps. That's like a double share. Even better, you can make your own content telling your followers that you're excited about this book coming out, and you can tag your local bookstores and libraries in that post, because we want to get this book on their radar. Because this was such a rush job. I mean, I started it August 15th. We're getting it to you March 11th. That's wild for publishing, but because it's on such a tight timetable, we've sort of missed out on some of those milestones of when books get announced and when bookshops do their ordering. So we kind of need to make this a viral sensation through alternative routes. So yeah, tell your local bookstore you're excited about this book. So Genocide Bad, March 11th. Now in the comments, tell me, why are you excited? What do you hope I talk about? Which of my videos do you hope I've gone deeper into? Who are you going to give this book to? And then don't forget to go to the links and pre-order. I love you. You're amazing. You're my mishpacha.